Good evening and many thanks for joining us live on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajibintu Drame. In tonight's top stories. In a major announcement, President Barrow's National People's Party and the opposition Citizens Alliance Party, led by Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, have agreed to form an alliance ahead of the 2023 local government elections and beyond. The Gambia Christian Council on Friday launched the Give Peace a Chance campaign, which will be in the form of a national competition between schools on various topics relating to peace. At a forum on Friday, the Ministry of Gender, in partnership with UN agencies in the Gambia, revealed plans of developing an effective sexual and gender-based case management and child management information system. The Consumer Protection Consortium have called on the Transport Ministry to withhold implementing proposed transport fare increases until the route licensing and labeling of commercial vehicles are implemented. Those were our main headlines, and now the news in detail. Now, in a major announcement, President Barrow's National People's Party and the opposition Citizens Alliance Party, led by Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, have agreed to form an alliance ahead of the 2023 local government elections and have said that, beyond that, they will work for the interests of the country. Ali Ceesay reports.
Addressing the press shortly after a closed-door meeting at the State House on Saturday between the CA delegation and President Barrow, which lasted almost half an hour, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, leader of the CA party, said the decision to form an alliance with the NPP is an executive one taken in the interest of national development and is by no means cross-competing to NPP.
There's no party where people stay constantly. People leave, people come in. CA stays. CA is bigger than me. I've always maintained that. I don't own CA. CA is an institution owned by its members. And I'll take this opportunity as well in this press conference to inform our members that they entrusted us to lead the party and make decisions in the interest of the party. In politics, there are three interests: the national interest, the party interest, and the individual interest. In this case, we are doing this for the national interest primarily, and in the party interest secondarily.
The CA leader was disqualified from contesting the last presidential election by the IEC for not meeting certain criteria. Nonetheless, he said his party is willing and ready to share their vision and action plan with the NPP for the development of the country.
We reflected at the party level that why should we sit on our ideas and our manifesto and our vision for this country and not share it with the president who is entrusted by the Gambian people to govern this country. And then we thought it wise, listening to the president speak, that he calls on all Gambians to come together to build this country. So he sat at an executive level and decided that we want to support the president's agenda. How? Within the context of the next local government elections, we are going to form an alliance for local government elections, but also use our manifesto and our ideas and our knowledge and our vision as in the 10-point plan to work with the NPP, also their ideas, their manifesto, their vision, to combine it to work for the interests of this country. So we came here to have that meeting to finalize it, that CA has decided at an executive level to work together with the NPP to pull resources together, to pull ideas together, to pull knowledge together to build this country for the interest of the Gambia.
Mamba Jek Njai, Senior Administrative Secretary at the National People's Party, welcomed the move by CA and calls on supporters of both parties to embrace the new partnership and work together.
And in that respect, we should be able to, at all times, work together to make things work, because we are not enemies after all. It's just when we have different agendas, our different thinkings, our different mindsets on how we think this country should be governed. But the ultimate aim is to take this country to the next level, and our supporters will understand that. They have always understood that, and they will continue to work with us, work with CA to make it happen.
For now, the new marriage between these two is verbal, but there are plans to have a signed document that will govern the new relationship, which both parties believe can change the dynamics of Gambian politics. Reporting for QTV News, I am Ali Ceesay.
The Gambia Christian Council Friday launched a national campaign to strengthen peace in the Gambia, dubbed Give Peace a Chance. The campaign, in the form of a national competition between schools on various topics relating to peace, will be implemented in partnership with the Supreme Islamic Council and the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. And Sumani Isunyasi has more.
Funded by the British High Commission, the Give Peace a Chance campaign will see secondary schools in the country competing and debating important issues to shape a national discourse on peace, religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence. And with a working group comprising members from the Christian and Islamic councils as well as MOPSI already established to begin preparations, the Very Reverend Canon James Cole and Pastor Sylvester Jame speak on the importance of maintaining peace and nurturing a peaceful society.
It is an important day for the Gambia Christian Council / Supreme Islamic Council as a major milestone in our drive to build a climate of peaceful social cohesion for religious tolerance and religious coexistence in the Gambia.
I hope and pray that generations yet unborn will reap the results of our conscious efforts today. We pray that God will inspire the young people so that they can add to our stream of consciousness and help us to continue to live in peace.
The Vice Chair of the Christian Council, Jean Abel Thomas, and Daniel Mendy, the Senior Programs Officer at the Gambia Teachers Union and a member of the working group of the Give Peace a Chance campaign, say frequent reports of crimes and the high cost of living and conflicts abroad are a testament to the need for more action, especially between leaders of different faiths, to ensure peace in our society.
If you look at our families, we are intertwined, Muslims and Christians in same families. This has been going on since generation unborn. And we have been living amicably side by side. We thank God that it has never brought war like other countries.
Zeroing down to our own country, the Gambia, there is no doubt that there is a greater need to create a culture of peace and a conflict-free society for all. We must acknowledge that peace is not just the absence of war, but a concerted effort to ensure that every citizen and resident of the Gambia is able to live without fear of being robbed, without the fear of being waylaid or taken advantage of in any way.
The competition will start at regional level between schools in the regions, with winners of the regional categories qualifying to the national finals, following which the British High Commission in the Gambia will organize an award ceremony to formally recognize winners. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Moving on, at a forum on Friday, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in partnership with the UN agencies in the Gambia, revealed they are in the process of developing an efficient and effective sexual and gender-based case management and child management information system. More in this report.
This system will enable government, particularly the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, to coordinate and harmonize services for accurate data collection on women and children's issues, as well as to enhance data collection and information gathering on SGBV in the Gambia. Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, says less than 3% of rape cases are reported in the Gambia, and those cases that go without conviction due to complexity around proving rape, which makes perpetrators go unpunished. This, in turn, makes the population lose trust in the justice system.
With our partners in the UN system, to establish special courts for gender-based violence across the country, so that cases will not be delayed. As it is normally said, justice delayed is justice denied. So that's what we are trying to prevent. And to further equip the courses with information and evidence, we want to establish for the first time in the Gambia a forensic lab.
To address sexual and gender-based violence, various stakeholders, key among them the Health, Justice and Interior Ministries, were in attendance. Dauda A. Jallo, The Minister of Justice assures the gathering that his ministry is willing and will cooperate in this endeavor.
This is concerning for me. If SGBV is no longer in the traditional way that we know about it, if even young boys can be snatched from the street and raped, this is serious. So this fight is for all of us. We owe it to our younger generation to protect them.
De Rosar is UNFPA country coordinator.
How many times have we heard a girl or a woman saying, I've been raped, and she will be asked, what were you wearing? Did you have a short skirt? Or what were you doing there? Although we all know that no is no, even when we are all both in bed, if a woman say no, it should be considered as a no. We urge all stakeholders present today to pull together their comparative advantage to have a holistic survivor-centered approach in ensuring that survivors are protected from the stigma and shame associated with GBV.
Gary Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF country representative, and Claudiana A. Cole, the Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, also spoke about the project.
I believe that in the medium to the long term, the conversation requires the participation and the presence of your honorable colleague, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, to identify creative and innovative strategies to address two things. Number one, better and greater efficiency in the use of the resources that you already have. And number two, more resources in order to be able to scale up and take this to national scale.
The girls cannot be in the schools, if they cannot go to school, if they cannot stay in school, if they cannot complete their education, where will the equity come from? When are we going to realize the empowerment of our female folk?
With proper and efficient forensic labs and strong collaboration by stakeholders, it is hoped cases of SGBV will be dealt with in a swift, coordinated, and appropriate manner. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
And from that story, we will go for a commercial break. Still to come, we have more stories. Do stay tuned.
I needed that. With LG ThinQ, my InstaView refrigerator is like my own personal assistant in the kitchen. Now, my foods and fruits can remain fresh for a very long time because with LG ThinQ, I can turn on the Hygiene Fresh. That removes up to 99.9% germs and increases shelf life. So, I forgot to properly close my fridge, but the LG ThinQ is always up to date. My life made easy with LG ThinQ.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
Welcome back. Now, at the press conference, the Consumer Protection Consortium, an umbrella body of the Consumer Protection Associations in the Gambia, have called on the Transport Ministry to withhold implementing proposed transport fare increases until the route licensing scheme and labeling of commercial vehicles are implemented. Mobdulamin Choi has more.
Consumer protection groups led by the Consumer Protection Consortium meet to outline their position on the proposed transport fares increase. A fares increase was among the agreements that ended the sit-down strike in the transport sector last month. Alpha Ojalo is the president of the CPC.
The unfolding developments to curb unnecessary strike actions and to meet the immediate demands of the transport union by increasing fares without exhausting other possible options and reaching an agreement with the Consumer Protection Consortium is a matter of concern for the CPC. We call on the Ministry of Transport to withhold the proposed fare increment until the route licensing scheme and labeling of commercial vehicles are operationalized and a binding agreement reached with the transport unions and other stakeholders.
The Consumer Protection Consortium is a registered civil society organization which aims to promote, protect and safeguard consumer rights for fair trade and a healthy market environment in the Gambia. The CPC and its affiliates called any fares increase without the Transport Ministry's implementation of the route licensing scheme a case of putting the cart before the horse, which could be a recipe for chaos in the transport sector.
Considering current economic conditions and rising inflation in this country, the CPC holds that any increments in fares will have a spiral effect on transportation costs of essential commodity prices, especially food items, resulting in inflation and further hardships for the citizen.
Given the challenges and potential fares increase facing consumers, the CPC has identified areas of intervention which require collaboration between government and stakeholders for fair play in the transport sector.
The sensitization of consumers on consumer rights and responsibilities, so that consumers will know that they have rights. We would also need some sensitization of the transport union itself and commercial drivers for them to know that they have a social responsibility. And we would also need to strengthen the enforcement of traffic laws and regulations and also the Consumer Protection Act of 2014.
Representatives, including presidents and executives of consumer protection groups, speak in solidarity with the position of the Consumer Protection Consortium.
And whatever proposal that is taking place at the ministerial level, I'm not in support of it for now. What is more important, let's go by the route licensing and the labeling of vehicles that will do, and that will mitigate the multiple payments of fares of consumers.
Interestingly, two transport associations, namely the Gambia Transport Agriculture, Food and Industrial Workers Union and Bajka Association, also took part in this press conference. They are represented by their presidents, who aligned themselves with the demands of the Consumer Protection Consortium. Mahmoud Lamin Choy, QTV News.
The Gambia Red Cross Society, in collaboration with the Italian Red Cross, launched the Cross-Regional Migration Support Project on Friday to assist migrants rescued or intercepted at sea and returning from the Atlantic coast. Omar Pejalo reports.
Across the globe, people on the move like migrants, refugees, asylum seekers and other displaced people make dangerous and difficult journeys in search of safety or a better life. The Global Route-Based Migration Program aims to save lives and improve the safety and dignity of migrants, refugees and other displaced people along dangerous and badly migratory routes. In the Gambia, the project will be implemented in the North Bank and Lower River regions. Alassana Senghor, the Secretary General of the Gambia Red Cross Society, says their global humanitarian network has provided life-saving services to the most vulnerable, advocated for their needs and rights, and improved their access to longer-term support.
So today we are here, an outcome of the Global Compact of Migration, which was basically a resolution from the Red Cross Red Crescent Movement International Conference. And this conference, usually every 4 years, bring together National Red Cross Red Crescent societies and the governments and the ICRC and IFRC.
Elena Kripa from the Italian Red Cross says the project is a multi-year global program to improve the safety and dignity of people on the move along land and sea-based migration routes in Africa, Europe, Middle East and North Africa, and the Americas.
We believe that this program is crucial to assist and protect migrants according to their vulnerabilities and needs, with the aim to guarantee safety and dignity and support and fundamental rights.
Pamalik Nyasi, the first secretary to the Gambia Diaspora Directorate of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, says addressing migration issues requires concerted efforts and partnership and assures government's commitment to ensuring a safe and dignified migration in the Gambia.
This year in May, the Gambia presented a report at the International Migration Review Forum in New York, expressing commitments to implement 23 objectives. And this project also aims to strengthen and also complement the implementation of GCM priorities in the Gambia.
Hassan Tangara, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Interior, says many people on the move die, go missing or experience abuse, including barriers limiting their access to essential needs such as food, water, shelter, information and healthcare.
When it was launched, the global program brought together 34 national societies across the 3 regions with the aim to deliver humanitarian assistance and protection over 2 million people on the move and more than 500,000 individuals from host communities per year over the course of 3 years.
This project aims to support 4.7 million people on the move and people in host communities around the world. Other speakers included Laming Sedikan, the governor of the North Bank region, and Boubacar Singate, a migration officer at the International Federation of Red Cross. Reporting for KTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
The EXCO members of the National Youth Services Scheme, NYSS, on Saturday organized a 2-kilometer run from Keraba Avenue to the NYSS camp in Bakau, followed by a meeting about their achievements and challenges and plans. Omar P. Jallo again.
The 2-kilometer run and planning meeting attracted EXCO members from the 19 batches of the National Youth Service Scheme, NYSS, from the 7 administrative regions of the country, to come together and form a union to help them contribute to youth and sustainable development. Delivering the welcoming remarks, Ibrahim Njai, the president of the first batch of the institution, said since its establishment in 1996, the NYSS has graduated over 2,500 EXCO members in skills acquisition and responsible citizenship.
Some of us are currently holding high government positions. Some are independently working on their own, although some have changed their field of studies rather. But still they are engaged in meaningful development.
Mustafa Baji, the deputy director of NYSS, highlighted the role of the EXCO members of the scheme can play in national development.
We are here as service providers to support whatever you want to do. Of course, we are at your service. If you're delighted, if you're happy, we are delighted, because we're here to serve you, to look at how we support the young people.
Lieutenant Colonel Abdullah Mboub, the commanding officer of the Gambia Armed Forces 1st Infantry Battalion, delivered an inspirational speech to encourage EXCO members to believe in themselves and remain passionate in acquiring skills for self-employment.
I was among a team of 4 instructors attached to the National Youth Service Scheme for the orientation of the 6th batch and again the tour guide of this country. During that period, we became very close and developed a bond of friendship that some of us were able to nurture over the years.
Sirif Emel Gomez, a former Minister for Youth and Sports, believes NYSS is more than an institution that just gives skills to young people. It is also known for taking young people from hopelessness and transform them to become contributors to national development.
So for us, it was about moving this scheme to a level where every young person aspiring to be somebody, something tomorrow, must be given that chance, must be given that opportunity.
Musa Mbai, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, said since the commencement of the youth scheme 26 years ago, NYSS's primary objective has been to equip Gambian youth with the requisite skills and knowledge to become productive citizens. Bakari Waibaji, the Minister for Youth and Sports, said since the inception, NYSS has trained youth in gainful skill acquisition to ensure sustainable livelihoods, adding that government has and will continue to provide the resources for young people to be trained to ensure they acquire the relevant skills in line with the objective of the National Development Plan.
Us as a ministry is passionate about issues of the institutions under us. But the National Youth Service Scheme is a special one among those satellite institutions for the fact that your mandate, or the mandate of the NYSS, is supposed to be the foundation on which the future of these young people or the future of the country will be built.
This is the first ex-NYSS core 2-kilometer run, which it is hoped will make for a better National Youth Service Scheme by revitalizing the NYSS Ex-Members Association. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
That's all for this edition of the news. Thanks for watching and have a safe and pleasant weekend.